Hello everybody and welcome to Electric City Sentai Denzicaster, your weekly walk through the wonderful world of Tokusatsu. I'm your host Mike, and this week I'm joined by...
Joe Gibbons' favorite homeboy, Josh. Woo woo! Good to be back, Internet.
So, a little bit of housekeeping. We've been away for a couple of weeks. My profuse apologies. First I got sick, then the wife got sick, then I got sick again. So we had to postpone a taping.
And also housekeeping on the Chopsaki side. My co-host William is working through a completely new work schedule, so we're trying to iron out a more regular production studio.
Yep. So they're working on that over on the Chopsaki side, but don't worry, Chopsaki Cinema Season 2 is coming. So that's what I always say whenever we take a lengthy break from something. It comes back, it's the next season.
Sounds good.
We did that with the announcers booth once. We had Season 1, Season 2, and then we were gone so long that when we came back we called it Season 4. And someone finally did say ask where Season 3 happened.
So you gave it the Final Fantasy 13 treatment.
Yeah. So what's also exciting, folks, is it's me, it's Joe Gibbons' homeboy, and you know what that means. So Johnny Sokko and his flying robot. When we get done with this, we're going to have to find an equally schlocky tokusatsu show to watch when it's just you and me.
I'd actually say let's go back to Kamen Rider Go, since that was one we started that was just me and you.
Yeah, we could do that.
And that is actually kind of schlocky.
I was thinking either actually get Super 1 in or
well, then yeah, actually that one is near and dear to my heart anyway.
Or Spider-Man. We have all of Toei's Spider-Man.
Oh,
now.
That's a good decision. That'd be a good one too.
Yes, but at any rate, right now we have checked out episodes 9 and 10. So for those of you following along at home, that means it's episode 9, Tentaclon, an electric monster, or if you're watching the Japanese Giant Robo release, that would be Sparky, the electric current monster.
Yeah, Tentaclon, much better name than Sparky.
Yeah, oddly enough.
Tentaclon's mama calls him Sparky.
And then The Transformed Humans is episode 10, also known as The Reconstructed Man in Giant Robo. So, basic information here, basic synopses. Episode 9, Emperor Guillotine gives Dr. Botanist, or in Giant Robo, Dr. Over, a spaceship equipped with all kinds of scientific equipment, and supposedly here's your last shot. Lands on Earth, sends out an electric monster, which may or may not be the precursor to some Super Mario villains, and goes to a soccer game and kidnaps 68,000 spectators, according to the beginning of the episode, of which 8,000 either escaped or died somewhere in the first 10 minutes. But they do this in order to get enough leverage to keep Unicorn from sending out Giant Robo to save the day. It's if you send out the Giant Robot, we're killing all the hostages. Just give us Japan and we'll be happy.
Because as Bottomist claimed, is becoming masters of Japan is key in conquering the Earth.
Yes.
Which I mean, Japan's great and all, but strategically
it is an island.
Yeah,
so
it's a very small place.
It's an archipelago off the coast of Asia. And then the Transformed Humans, Dr. Botanist, unleashes a horrific monster big enough to swallow a train, which it promptly does. But it does it to kidnap the head of the Unicorn Organization's Kyoto branch, who is transformed into a cyborg pawn. I didn't get the cyborg part from the episode. I think in the episode they just said brainwashed. So part of the synopses here are actually from Giant Robo.
I actually would have liked it better if they would have actually made him a cyborg.
Said that he was a cyborg. The man tries to steal top secret plans while the monster continues its path of destruction. So here's what we have realized at this point. We'll start with episode 9. Tentaclon, an electric monster. General thoughts on the episode?
Like I said, I'm not a big fan. This is another Botanist episode, and this is just shy of the end of what I refer to as the Spider Era. Yes, the Spider Era is literally disc 1. So it's the first 7 episodes. And honestly, I have to say, don't believe the hype. I'm not a big fan of Botanist. For someone, he seems awful proud of his PhD in evil genetics or whatever he does.
Hashtag not my evil mastermind.
Yes, never my evil mastermind.
Yeah. So Spider was an interesting bad guy, right? He was fun, over the top, yes, but
he also had really like crafty, cagey plans. Like he had redundancies set in place. Like if they found out about this, then we're going to do this.
Yeah,
and
just the actor that was playing Spider, he looked, without the use of makeup, he looked like this. He looked like what you would imagine, like the bad guy of a Japanese mafia movie with like a Yakuza flick. Right?
No, I mean he looked like an evil thug.
Yeah. So our boy here is Destro with like a monobrow kind of thing going on.
Well, that, and also whomever was on makeup detail when they shot this episode didn't get his ears exactly. Yeah. For a silver Gargolian,
which apparently is the official term for them in Johnny Sokko. They're Gargolians.
Even though they don't look a lot, they don't have to have any general semblance of features that all look the same.
Yeah, they missed the ears in episode 9, and my wife Kana was in there watching with us. And they said, well, maybe that's just what their people look like. And then the next episode, they had fixed the ears, so obviously it's not. So makeup and continuity issues aside, not my favorite episode of the series so far either. The monster design looked really haphazard to me.
Hashtag Wizard Squid.
Yeah, we've referred to this as Blooper the Wizard Squid. He is no longer Tentaclon for us. Matter of fact, I know a couple of talented artists, so you never know. You might find a Blooper the Wizard Squid T-shirt at some point on our
and I just thought of it that Tentaclon looked kind of gray at first. Like I was known as Tentaclon the Gray. I am now Tentaclon the White.
It was not a great monster costume, not a great plot. Well, I take that back. The actual evil bad guy plot wasn't bad. We're going to kidnap tens of thousands of people and hold them hostage so that you will not call out the giant robot.
I mean, pretty ballsy. I mean, they kidnapped a literal soccer stadium full of people.
Yes.
And it wasn't like a little like YMCA weekend thing. This was like a national game.
Yes. So, I mean, it was, and it shows the whole idea that we have to take out giant robo. That was one of the things we talked about earlier. Because here's one thing in this episode. I'm just going to point this out. Those 60,000 people all should have died. They should have never been found. Nobody would have even found the bodies. And that is because the unicorn in this episode is so incredibly dumb. They actually get Dr. Botanist cornered. They get him surrounded at gunpoint in an open area with little to no cover. There's an archway.
Kind of like a gazebo almost.
Yeah. They corner him on a gazebo. They have him surrounded, and he got away. They lost him.
More specifically, he runs around the left side of the gazebo, drops a smoke bomb, and then he's gone. Yeah.
He has shown no evidence of supernatural powers.
Well, that also the first time that Unicorn agents catch Botanist, he shows up like on top of a mountain, and about 6 dudes just light him up.
He's in the stadium. He's on top of a lighting box.
And then they light him up with like just riddle him with bullets, and he's like, oh, and falls over.
Yes.
And my response was, well, that was quick.
Yeah. But then suddenly he is the typical General Toku bad guy hologram in the sky thing. So maybe he does have supernatural powers. I don't know. But he also apparently can ditch limbs like a lizard can ditch its tail.
Because that was one thing he did when he ran away. He threw his fist at them.
Yes, and it's stuck in a wall. So yeah, I'm not digging Dr. Botanist or Dr. Over, whichever one you want to call him. Not the best episode out of the batch. And Unicorn continues to look completely stupid. But it does show, I ask you, how in the hell do these guys save the world? And it's obvious they got a big role.
They got a big role. Well, and to be fair, I mean, the two, like, kid agents are obviously the smartest people in the organization.
Yes.
I mean, in the last episode they established, the girl that they hired, I mean, she speaks, like, 6 languages. She's a cryptographer.
Yeah. You've got basically 2 people whose combined age is not enough to drink alcohol in most places. And yet, this is who your entire good guy organization is dependent upon. Episode 10, The Transformed Humans. We see Harlequin again. He debuted in episode 8. He might have been briefly in episode 9, and if he was in there for such a short period of time, it didn't matter. Episode 10, he's actually in a little bit more. And I'm a little surprised when they first introduce him. We get the vibe he is Spider's replacement, but in this episode, he's acting like he's Botanist's lackey.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what I think about that.
Now also that this is, like, in the previous episode, Emperor Guillotine's like, do not fail me again.
Yes.
And he did. And this one, he's like, do not, then he says, see what happens when you fail me one more time.
Yeah, it's like, you have one last chance, which makes me really hope that Botanist dies in 11. But, with that said, the monster design in this episode, which... do they give a name for the monster? They gave a name for the monster in the episode. Ligorian. Okay. Although, okay, so I think this might be a reuse of a monster because in Japan the monster's name was Ligon 2.
Yeah, because I remember Ligon.
Ligon is in episode 4. The monster is called Ligon Tyrox, and it was Ligon, and it's Dr. Botanist's debut episode.
Oh, so he brought the monster out of mothballs.
So yeah,
maybe
he apparently brings the monster back. But it's called Ligon 2. The monster design's really cool. I do like the Ligon monster suit. That actually works for me.
So you might also call this episode Ligon 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Possibly, yeah. I think the translators, when it became Johnny Sokko, did miss the boat on this episode because the idea of the idea of swallowing an entire train to capture one guy, it does seem a little excessive. But the idea of kidnapping the head of a branch of this organization, which we've established at this point, is not going to be difficult at all. But doing this in order to get your hands on secret documents, that works for me. This is actually another sound bad guy plot. But I really would have dug the idea of saying they were actually cyborgs in the Johnny Sokko episode instead of simply saying brainwash.
To me, it also seems be a little bit more simple if they just happen to replace the conductor with a cyborg to the train and then just have him take the train somewhere instead of having a monster show up and swallow the entire train.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have had the visual of the monster swallowing the train. We've said this before here on the show. The high def does this show zero favors. But you've got to admire a lot of the effects because the bottom line is they do some fine miniature work. This is a product of 1967. They do some fine miniature work. The effect of swallowing the train is really just nothing more than a little foreshortening in camera. It's a complete in-camera effect.
And it's always like the miniature, like the tanks and rocket tanks that they do. Genuinely pretty neat looking for 60s, like early 60s Toku.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the miniature work, if they're doing anything that really exists in miniature, it usually looks really good. It's when they have to make up some sci-fi tech that it begins to look a little more Thunderbirdish and a little more dodgy.
Yeah.
Like when we see, well, as a for instance, Dr. Botanist's UFO that's at the bottom of the ocean. That thing looks terrible. It looks like a dinner plate that someone
I would say Frisbee, but...
Yeah. I mean, it really does. It looks just absolutely horrible. Although it was hilarious to see in this episode Giant Robo just pick it up and start shaking it. And then they cut to the inside and everyone's doing this Star Trek, like, on 3, we all lurch to the left. 1, 2, 3.
That U7 actually makes the comment. It's like, oh, we got to go get the director. Otherwise, this robot's going to tear this place apart.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, if the miniatures work, if it's grounded in reality, it looks really good. We even saw that in episode, no, it's actually this episode where you have the missile tank. And you have all the missiles firing missiles at Ligon. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of fireworks going off, but it still looks darn impressive.
It definitely accomplishes what they wanted, which is to make this monster look like an indestructible, like kaiju monster.
I mean, one of the things is whenever you watch a show, an older show, you put yourself in that time frame. You kind of have to sit there and go, no, we're not watching this on a flat screen TV. What would this look like on a little black and white set? Because that's how it would have been watched.
Yeah.
and it looks impressive as all get out for that. General thoughts on episode 10. What did you like and dislike?
Like I said, I like Tygon. Then again, I like Tygon the first time he showed up. Harlock. Then again, I'm kind of a sucker for the trope of the man of 1,000 faces. So I'm a little bit more. I think I'm a little bit more of a fan of Agent Harlequin than you are.
I would love to actually have Harlequin be the bad guy. I would rather him be the general right now than Botanist. We do continue to see that Unicorn has not learned from the lessons that Spider has taught them, because we do have Harlequin show up, and the only thing they did was take off some of the spray tan and an eye patch, and suddenly no one recognizes him.
I mean, that's kind of like the Zartan G.I. Joe Master disguises. All of his disguises are basically 2 or 3 stock disguises that he uses.
But he always has long hair.
Yeah.
So again, Unicorn doesn't pass around photos of the evil bad guys.
It also seems there's not a lot of interagency communication.
Apparently not.
Where other than they just seem to be that the Kyoto branch and the main branch don't communicate very often.
Yeah.
So. And then there was, at one point, the director made the comment, well, let's get out to our people in Tokyo. We have an army of agents out there. And I'm like, I don't think so, cuz. There's 10 of you.
You don't have the budget to spring for your top 2 agents to have their own car. They have to start taking taxis.
Yeah, especially since because I think that was actually Spider's plan B, was to just consistently destroy every company car that they had. Where basically no company will insure their cars anymore.
Yeah, it's bad when even Geico says no.
It's like, nah, dog.
Yeah, if you can't get the gecko to go along with it. So next time we take a look at Johnny Sokko, we're going to be checking out episodes 11 and 12, which will be the terrifying sand creature, a.k.a. Terror of the Man-Eating Sand. And then Amberon, the synthetic monster, or Unbalon, the synthetic monster.
I kind of like Umbalon. Amberlon sounds like a medication.
Amberon, yeah, it kind of does. But, yeah, those are the next 2 episodes we're going to be checking out.
Side effects might include diarrhea, blinding headaches, and or malaria.
Yes. So, more Johnny Sokko, more interesting, strange stuff. Let's say here, all the episodes of explosive kaiju battles, nefarious alien takeover plots, and mind-blowing heroics from the jetpack Johnny Sokko and his equally airborne friend Giant Robo. So
yeah, notice there was no hype for U7.
Yeah,
at all.
Poor Jerry Mano.
Yeah, basically it's like, oh, Johnny Sokko and his equally airborne robot companion, and Mano was also there.
Yeah. We didn't mention Jerry much in this episode when talking about 9 and 10, because really there wasn't much of Jerry to mention.
It was generally a lot of Jerry looking agitated.
Yeah.
Looking terrified.
I think it was a lot of him you get the sense watching some of this that maybe he read the script.
He's like...
And he just kind of...
Well, no, they both read the script, because that's how Johnny Sokko knows what's going on. He read the script. He gives spoilers. He's like, I think that they've been bugging us. Well, yeah, you know that. You read the script.
Yeah. Jerry has this horrified look on his face because he read the script. He knows he's going to be useless. So, folks, the series so far has been a lot of fun. It's been a trip.
It's been a roller coaster ride, to be sure.
But thus far, we're waiting on it to pick back up, because the post-Spider era has just left us wanting. So,
however, according to our glorious Emperor Guillotine, he had one more chance.
Yeah.
So let's see. Hopefully, maybe he'll just go away a while like he did the last time. But we'll see.
Maybe
he'll go away forever.
So, folks, until next time, if you want to check us out over on social media, you can find us Facebook.com/Denzicaster. Chopsaki Cinema's got their Facebook page as well. Facebook.com/Chopsaki Cinema, no dashes. You can go over to our Cafe Press store, cafepress.com/ECS Network, and pick yourself up some cool t-shirts and help us out here on the channel. You can also do that by becoming one of our patrons at patreon.com/ECS Network. And if you're in the Greenville, South Carolina area, Big Fan of Greenville is this weekend. It is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. For more details, go to bigfandomgreenville.org or visit them on Facebook at Big Fandom Greenville. I'm there all day Saturday and hosting the Toku 101 Superhero Time panel from 6 to 7. So it's going to be an awful lot of fun, and I hope to see you there. Who knows? Maybe he'll be there.
Like I said, schedule permitting, yes.
So, all right, folks, until next time, I'm Mike.
I'm Josh.
And we'll see you on Denzicaster. Woo woo!